Welcome students to this video lecture series of AICTE Prerna Scheme. This is the Digital Electronics video lecture 5. In the previous video lectures we have already covered the basics of digital electronics, and all the links I will give in the description box. You can go there and check for the videos. In this video I will be discussing about the Boolean expression and their representations, that includes canonical form, standard form, PUS, SOP and all these things. So let us start the video without any further delay, and subscribe to the channel to get updates, and press the bell icon to get notified when I update the next video. So let us start.
So let us start today's class with Boolean functions and their realizations. So we will discuss in this class Boolean functions and their realizations. Okay, so in the previous classes, as I have told, we have discussed about the logic gates, the digital Boolean expression theorems, and universal gates. All the things we have discussed. Now we will discuss the Boolean functions and their realization. So first, let us see what is Boolean function. The first point comes here. What do you mean by a Boolean function or Boolean expression? You can say Boolean function. Okay, what is this? There is a small statement for that. So the statement says a Boolean is an expression. This Boolean, a Boolean is an expression Boolean is an expression formed with binary variables. With binary variables. Comma, binary variables, comma, and, comma, or, and not operators. Okay, so it says what is a Boolean expression or Boolean function. So Boolean is an expression formed with binary variables, comma, and, or, and not operators. So it is saying, so what are the binary variables? So we are reading about like if there is a AND gate. Suppose if there is a AND gate and there are two inputs A and B, and we get the output as Y equals to A plus B. In this case, sorry, A into B. So in this case, A and B are called as the variables. So this we say these are binary variables. Okay, so these are binary variables. Now and, or, and not operators. AND operator is the dot, OR operator is the plus, and not operator is the bar or prime. Okay, so we write A. If we pass this through a NOT gate, then what is the output? We will get a bar. So this NOT operation is presented by a bar.
Okay, what is your Boolean function? Okay, so this is the Boolean. So that includes your binary variables, AND operator, OR operator, and NOT operator. So that is called the Boolean. And what is the Boolean function? So these are the functions. Let me erase these things. So these are the functions which are used to give some logical output with the help of logic gates, which are used to give some logical output with the help of logic gates. Okay, so this is the Boolean function. Okay, now one more point to be remembered here from means like a tips or tricks you can consider this. So maximum number of Boolean functions, using n variables is 2 to the power n. So it is saying the maximum number of possible Boolean expression can be created using n number of variables is 2 to the power n. Okay, so next thing is how we can next thing we discuss is about your representation of Boolean functions. So now you know what is your Boolean expression and what is Boolean function. Now we need to know how we represent these Boolean functions. Okay, so in digital Euclid there are some rules or there are certain types of Boolean functions. Those are categorized into some standard forms and canonical forms. So these are represented as standard forms. So these are called as standard forms. One is standard form and your another one is your canonical form. So both are related and both are different also. We will see what is the relation between them and what is the difference between them. Canonical form. Okay, let us first discuss about the standard forms. So in standard form it is means divided into again two categories. So category A says it is sum of product. And the category B says it is product of sum. Okay. So these are two categories. So first I will discuss about the sum of product and we will discuss about this product of sum later. Okay, so what is sum of product? So from the type whatever written here, sum of product, so what do we understand? Sum of product means, so there is something product terms are there, means there are some multiplication terms will be there. So I write the multiplication terms, I write it multiplicative term. So sum of product. So first I will take the multiplicative terms or the product terms or I can say product terms. Okay, product terms, then sum of product. So it will be like this. So there will be some product terms will be like this and sum of those product terms is called as a sum of product expression or sum of product form. So in short it is called as SOP form. So in exams or questions you will find this term sum of product as SOP form. Okay, and in digital electronics, as you know, the multiplication is happening with what? This product is happening with AND operator or AND gate. AND operator is the product operator and this one is the sum operator. This one is the sum operator or this is also called as the OR operator. Okay, then what is sum of product? Then we can write a statement. This is a Boolean expression. This is a Boolean expression which contains AND terms. Okay, which contains AND terms, and sum denotes ORing of these AND terms. So you ORing of these AND terms. Okay, so see the expression here. So these are the AND terms. Okay, this is first AND term, this is second AND term, this is third AND term. So like this it will go on, and these AND terms are added. Added means in digital electronics or in logic gate we say this is a addition, means OR operation. So it is written the sum denotes ORing of the AND terms. ORing means adding them or making a OR operation between the AND terms. So this is the sum of product form. So for example we can write, so how does it look like? So example I can write, suppose a function f1 equals to y bar plus x1 plus x1 y z bar. Okay, so this is a example of how a SOP looks like. Let us write another example. I will write f2, that is equals to, I can write xyz plus x bar y bar z plus suppose xz. So this is how it looks like a sum of product. You see here, these are the product terms, okay, and these are summed, means these are added, the product terms are added, so it is SOP form. Okay, so what is the next term? Next term is your product of sum. Product of sum. Okay, in product of sum, so what is the basic difference? That was the sum of product where we have the multiplicative terms and we are adding them. But in case of product of sum, what we can do? We have sums and we have to make the multiplication of them. Suppose we have terms like this, and what we have to do? We have to multiply these terms. Okay, so the expression will be look like this. So you see in the previous expression, so here the product was added. The product was added. Okay, so see the this and this you try to relate here. So in bracket all the product terms are there and those were added. So while designing the problem, first we have to find this product terms, then we can add this. But in case of your product of sum, or in bracket we can write POS, you have to find these addition terms and then you have to multiply them. So I'll call them as OR terms, and it is add operation. Okay, so this is also a small statement. Let us see what is the statement. It is a Boolean expression which contains OR terms. So these are the OR terms. Addition terms means these are the OR terms, and product indicate AND operation and AND operation of OR terms. Okay, so let me put a line here. Okay, so it is a Boolean expression which contains OR terms and product indicates AND operation of OR terms. So let us see, understand from example. Suppose I write f1 equals to, for example I can write x into x bar plus y bar plus z into x plus z. So it will be like this, means these are the odd terms. So this one and this one and this one, these are the odd terms. Okay, these are the OR terms, and this dot are the AND operators. So these dot are the AND operators. Okay. So let us write another example. Suppose the function f2 can be written as, I'll write x bar plus y bar into x plus y bar plus z into y plus z bar. So you can write like this. So these are the sums which are again then multiplication is happened with the summation term. So this is the product of sums. So this is how SOP and POS form are there, and these are the standard forms. Okay, so there are two forms. One is standard, another one is canonical form, and we discuss about the standard form. Now let us discuss about the canonical form. Canonical form. Okay, so now in canonical form also there are two types of canonical form. So I'll write the terms first. One is mean term or minimum term, you can say mean term form. One is this, and your another one is max term. One is mean term, another one is max term form. Okay. So when each product or sum term of a Boolean function contains all the logical variables of the function, the representation of the function is called the canonical form. So what is canonical form? For that there is a small statement is there. I'll write it. When each product or sum term, each product or sum term means either you take AB or you take A plus B. This term of a Boolean function contain all the logical variables of the function the representation of this function is called canonical form. Okay, so this canonical form is of two types. These are mean term and max term. So what does it say? When each product or sum term of a Boolean expression contain all the logical variables. Contain all the logical variable means, suppose I have a 3 variable system. So function of a, b, c. So you write some function, either each product or each sum. So let us do the product first. So I'll write a, b, c plus a bar, b bar, c plus a bar, b, c bar. So like this if I write, so it see all the terms contains all the variables, whether it is in not means a bar or a, it contains all the variables. So it is saying if this is in this form, then we can say this is in the canonical form. Now this canonical form is divided into two types. One is mean term and another one is max term. So let us see what is your mean term. Mean term form. Okay. So mean term will write the statement first. The statement says if each term if each term in SOP form contain all the variable of the function then each term is called mean term or standard product. Mean term or standard product. Okay, and the representation is called mean term form. The next point is the mean term is represented by small m. The mean term is represented by small m. Okay, so this is one point. Next point is the main property of mean term is that only one mean term has value of 1. Okay, the main property of mean term is that only one mean term has value 1. For one combination of input variables. So we'll see this later while doing the problems, and I'll discuss this. What does this mean? Input variables. Basically it says that the terms used in this mean term or mean term is basically you see here I was saying about what is the relation between the standard form and canonical form. So in canonical form it is mean form, but from standard form it is combined with the SOP. So when you have a SOP, then there will be mean term form. And what does that say? So if each term in a SOP form contains all the variables. So suppose a SOP is written like okay, this is the sum of product, right? So there will be dot operations. So it says there are how many terms are there? There are 3 terms. So the statement says if this all the 3 terms, suppose this is a 3 variable function f of ABC. So if all the 3 terms contains all the 3 variables, then this is called as the mean term. Okay. Now next point is canonical sum of product expression can also be expressed as sum of decimal codes corresponding to mean terms as in the okay, we'll see in the example first. So the example says, suppose I write f of a, b, c, d. Suppose there are I write an example for a suppose 4 variable a, b, c and d. So it is written like a bar, b bar, c bar and d bar plus a, b. So I am writing this randomly. Okay, so it can be anything. Okay, for example I am writing this randomly. So then a bar, c bar, d bar plus a, b bar, c, d. Okay, now how to represent this in this is the Boolean expression form. So how to represent this as the mean term? How to represent? So see here, if you write a bar, so a means your 0, so a means your 1 and a bar means your 0. Okay, so if it is written as a bar, so it will be considered as 0, then b bar 0, c bar 0, d bar 0. So this will give me what? 0, and mean term is represented as small m, so I'll write small m and in subscript it is 0. So next point is 1 1 0 1. Okay, so this will give me which value? This will give me in decimal point it is 13. So I'll write here m 13. Next this one is 1 1 0 0. So 1 1 0 0 equivalent is what? 1 1 0 equivalent is 12. So I'll write here m 12, small m, then in subscript 12. Then the last one will be your 1 0 1 1 and this gives us 11. So I'll write here m 11 and these terms are being ORed. So I will put a OR operation. Okay. Now I'll compile this and write as, I can write this f of a comma b comma c comma d equals to m0. I'll just write in the ascending manner, m0 plus m1 11. So it is not m11, you can say this m11 plus m12 plus m13. Okay. Now this is the mean term form. So we can say this is a mean term form, but this one is a SOP form. This one is not the mean form, this is the SOP form. Okay. So finally mean term is represented in a specific manner. We put a sum symbol here. So this is summation and in bracket we write all these terms 0, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So if somebody write only this one, f of a b c d equals to this one. Okay. So this will represent this expression. Sorry. So if someone write like this, f of a comma b comma c comma d, so this expression this is the actual mean term form. Mean term form. So this is also mean term form, this is also mean term form, but in general the mean term is symbolically represented as this, and with OR operation it is represented this. And basically if someone write this expression and if someone write this expression, both are same. Both are same expression but different representation. One is SOP and one is mean term. So with respect to this means a statement is there for mean term. It says the canonical sum of product expression, canonical, I'll write SOP, canonical sum of SOP expression or sum of product expression can also be expressed as the sum of decimal codes corresponding to the mean terms as in the above example. Okay, it is saying the canonical SOP expression. So this one is the SOP expression. So in this SOP expression, if you convert that to equivalent decimal, so SOP expression can also be expressed as the sum of decimal codes. sum of decimal codes. I'll write this is the sum of decimal codes. So M0, M11, M12 like this, these are the sum of decimal codes. So symbolically if you write this, I mean summation symbol and then 0, 11, 12, 13, so this is the sum of decimal codes. So decimal codes are 0, 11, 12, 13, these are the decimal codes, and when you write like this in bracket with sum, so this is the sum of the decimal codes. So the statement says like this. Okay. So next thing is we have to convert the Boolean expression to mean term. Means if there is a simple expression like if it is written like a plus b dash c, so this is a SOP form. This is a SOP form, but this is not. So this is not a mean term. Okay. Now in exam question comes, convert this term to your mean term, whether it is SOP form but it is not mean term. So the question came, convert this to your SOP form. So let us see how to do that. Now this type of question directly comes in your exam. So I am trying to explain as simple as I can, and if you have any confusion, you can doubt, you can write in the comment boxes, and I will try to answer all the questions from the comment box. If you have any doubt, you can ask any doubt from this course content. Okay, so let us take the example. And what is the example? The question given is convert the function. The question is convert the Boolean function. Convert the Boolean function to mean term. Okay, what is the function is given? The function is given f of ABC equals to a plus b bar c. Okay, so let us do the answer. So I'll write f is given as a plus b bar c. So to convert to mean term means, what is the objective? We have to convert the expression so that all the term contains all the variables. Okay, so this is our goal. So initially in the statement we saw that a SOP, if a SOP contains, so in the statement, when each product or sum term of a Boolean expression contains all the logical variables, it is called as the canonical form, and in mean term, each term of SOP form contain all the variables of the function in each term is called the mean term. So likewise, you see this is a SOP. Okay, so this is in SOP form, but it doesn't all the term does not contain all the variables. Hence it is not a canonical form, or it is not a mean term, and we have to convert this. How we can convert? Our goal is we should convert this expression in such a way that it is b bar c or b dash c, whatever, b bar or b dash. Okay. So our goal is that we have to make some alternations here or some expression changes here, so that the term will eventually be converted to your mean term, where all the terms will contain all the variables. Okay, let us start. First is a plus b bar c. Now you see here, in the first term a is there, but b and c are not there. So to add there b and c, what I will do, I will write a and I will multiply that with a b plus b bar. So you know b plus b bar will result what? It will give you 1. So multiplying this is not going to change the first term. Again with this I will multiply c plus c bar. and plus your a plus a bar, because a is not here, so a plus a bar into b bar c. Okay, so this I have multiplied with b bar c. Now we have to open the multiplication and we'll see what is the value. So if you multiply with these two first, you will get ab plus ab bar whole into c plus c bar, right? First I multiply these two will give me this expression, and c bar is RDCT here, and here if I multiply, I will get a b bar c plus a bar b bar c. Now these two has to be multiplied. If we multiply this, we will get a b c plus a b c bar plus a b bar c plus a b bar c bar. Okay, this is completed. Next, plus a b bar c plus a b bar c, a bar b c. Okay, now see, there are some terms which are same. So you see a b bar c, this one and this one. So what happens if you write a plus a, so the output is a. Okay, so I can remove one term from here and I can write a b c plus a b c bar plus a b bar c plus a b bar c bar plus a bar b bar c. So I removed this term. Okay, I removed this term. Why? Because it is already been written once. So if you add this one, this plus this, so eventually it will give the same term. So I have removed this. Now from here what I can write? So see, this one will represent decimal equivalent of 7. Okay, this one will represent the decimal equivalent of 6 because it is 110. Then this one will represent your 5, and this term represents your 4, and this term will represent your 1. Okay, so I can write here it is equivalent to, so I can write it is equivalent to m7 plus m6 plus m5 plus m4 plus m1. So what I can write finally? I can write your f of ABC equals to summation of, I will write in the arranging ascending manner, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this will be the final answer. When the question comes, you have to convert from Boolean expression to your mean term, then this is how you have to do it. Okay, so the next one is your max term. So like mean term, we have a max term, and there are some basic differences are there. So what is the difference? The first statement says, if there it was SOP, and here it says if each term in POS, each term in POS form contain all the variables of the function, then each term is called max term or standard sum and the total function is called max term form. Okay, the total function is called your max term form. So what does this statement says? You see here it is written POS, means product of sum. There it was written sum of product. Okay, so it is the max term. So the max term is represented by what? Capital M. There it was represented by small m, but here the max term is represented by capital M. There it was small m, here it is capital M. Okay, so the next point says the main property of the max term. There it was the product each term will give you the value as 1. Here each term will give the value as 0. So what is the point? The main property of max term is that it possesses zero value only for one combination of input variables. Okay, so here also same, the canonical form sum also can be expressed as the product of decimal codes corresponding to the max term. So here also the canonical form POS, product of sum, can also be represented as the product of. So see the difference. In mean term we are writing can be represented as the sum of, but here we are writing can be represented as the product of decimal codes for corresponding to the max term. Decimal codes corresponding to the max term. Okay, let us see an example. F of ABC is given as A plus B bar plus C bar into your A plus B plus C bar into A plus B plus C into A plus B bar plus C. Okay, so this is in the POS form, and here we can write the decimal equivalents as, okay, what will be the decimal equivalent for this? Here we can write it is 0 1 1, so it will give you 3. I will write here capital M 3, then into it is, so see the difference here. so the difference is here not here. Okay, so difference is here a b c d was written. Okay, so this is a 4 variable and a b c d was written. So for a bar we are writing 0, for a bar we are writing 0, and for a we are writing 1. But in this case, in max term, for a we will write 0 and for a bar we will write the 1. So it is just the reverse case. So here what I can write 0 0 1. Okay, so this will give me capital M 1. And for a b c I can write 0 0 0 and it will give me M0, and here it will be 0 1 0, it is 2, so it is M2. So finally it can be written as M3. I'll write in the means ascending order first. So it can written be as M0 into M1 into M2 into M3. So there it was small m with the decimal codes added. Here it is capital M with the decimal codes multiplied. So it has also a symbol. So what is the symbol? The symbol looks like pi. So this symbol in bracket, if I write 0 1 2 3. Okay, so if someone write like this, f of a b c is equals to this, if it is written like this, then this is equal to this expression. Okay, so next is one table I will write to make you understand that how means SOP, POS, min term and max term are related. So I will write the variables a, b, c, and I will write here min term and I will write here max term. Okay, so this is capital M and this is small m. So I will write all the variable combinations first. How to write that? I will write here 4 0 0 0 0 and 1 1 1 1. Then I will write 2 0 2 1 2 0 2 1s, and here it is 0 alternatively 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to write the corresponding min term here. Okay, what is the corresponding min term? Here it is 0 0 0. So it is a bar, b bar, c bar, that is equals to M0. Okay, now one thing you point out here. So actual values are 0 0 0, but we are writing as a bar, b bar, c bar. So if you have a input of suppose 1 and suppose let us do like this. Suppose you have not get is here. Suppose you give the input as 1, okay, input was 1, and if not get, you are getting the output as 0. Okay, so if you have a here, then actually you are getting a bar here. So min term is somehow similar like that. So you see the multiplication should be equals to 1. If there is a multiplication, then you cannot just multiply 0 to it, because all the term will go to 0. So to avoid that, if 0 is there, we write there a bar, so that 0 will not be multiplied, it will be multiplied with 1. So here it is 0 0 0, and if you write a bar, b bar, c bar, that means you are multiplying 1 with 1 with 1, and you will get your term as equals to 1. Okay, you remember this while solving the problems, so you will get the significance. So you see here in first point we wrote something. The property of min term is that only one min term has value 1 for one combination of input variables. So for one combination of input variables, the value is 1. Okay, for this max term, what will be for this? So min term means you have to write in the POS or SOP, product of sum of product. That's why each term is represented as a product here, and later on that will be added. For max term, you have to write in the addition form or the OR form, and here we will write A plus B plus C equals to capital M 0, and this corresponds to your 0. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 will give you what? 0, right? So in addition in OR operation, if you add 0 to something, that is not going to change anything. If you add 1, then there will be a change. That's why for max term, addition operation is performed, and the total addition should equals to be 0. That's why no bar is there. If 0 0 0 is there, we add 0 0 0. But in mean term, if 0 0 0 is there, we have to multiply 1 1 1. That's why it is written like this. Okay, so the next term here will be A bar, this is A bar, this is B bar, and this is C. So we'll write A bar, B bar, C, and that is equals to M1. So it is 0 0 1 M1. Here it will be A plus B plus C bar, that is capital M1, and here the value is equals to again 0. So see here, A bar, B bar, C, if you multiply A is what? 0, so A bar is 1. B 0, so B bar is 1. C is 1, so C is 1. So you eventually it is multiplies 1 into 1 into 1. So the value will be equals to 1. Here also A plus B plus C bar. A is 0, B is 0, C is 1. So we have to add C bar, and the answer is 0. So quickly I'll write all the forms here. This one will be your A bar, B, C bar, that is equals to M2, and here it will be A plus B bar plus C, that is equals to capital M2. Next one is A bar B C, that is equals to M3, and here it is A plus B bar plus C bar, it is capital M3. Next is A B bar C bar, that is capital M4, small m4, and here it is A bar plus B plus C, that is equals to capital M4. Next is A B bar C, that is equals to small m5, and here it will be A bar plus B plus C bar, that is equals to capital M5. Next is your A B C bar, that is equals to small m6, and here it will be A bar plus B bar plus C, that is equals to capital M6. The last one is A B C, here it is M7, and here it will be A bar plus B bar plus C bar will give you M7. Okay, so let us do a problem from converting your Boolean expression to a max term. Okay, so the problem is like this. A function is given, I'll write the example. The function is given f equals to your xy plus x bar z. So we can, from here we can say this is a three variable problem, and the variables are f of x comma y comma z. Okay, so the question is convert to max term. Okay, we have to do in a similar way as we are doing in the for the converting to your mean term. So we have to do some mathematical operations where we can get all the terms in all the variables in all terms. So I'll write here xy plus x bar z. The question is given like this. So this will be equals to, I can write xy plus x bar into xy plus z. So what I have done, xy into x bar here and xy into z bar here. Okay, so this, where it came from? This came from distributive law. Okay, this came from distributive law. So next is x bar plus y. Again we tried to open this x bar plus y into z plus y into x plus z into x plus x bar. Okay, how we can do this x plus x bar, how we can add it here, because x plus x bar will give you 1 and x into x will give you simply x. Okay, so that's equals to now x bar plus y, z bar plus y and x plus z. Okay, now we can do x bar plus y plus z bar. Okay, what we are doing, x bar plus y is there, we are just adding z into z bar. Z into z bar will always give you 0, so if you are adding 0 here, there is no problem. And why we are adding z here? Because in this term z is not there. Similarly here what I can do, x into x bar plus y plus z. Okay, this term. And the third term I can write x plus y into y bar plus z. So now see, in all the terms we have almost all the expressions. Further, if you simplify this, it will be x bar plus y plus z, then your x bar plus y plus z bar. Okay, this one again distributive law, x bar plus y plus z, then x bar y plus z bar. Okay, and one more term will be x plus y bar plus z. So this term I am removing because eventually you will get the same term here and you have to eliminate that, because a into a will give you a. So if you open this bracket, you will get similar as this one, the first term. So no need to open that. You can open, you can add a step, but I am not adding the step here, it's not required as of now. Okay, then plus x bar plus y plus z all into x plus y plus z, again x plus y bar plus z. Okay, so that will directly give me finally x bar. Okay, I'll write in the next page. It will give me x bar plus y plus z into x bar plus y plus z bar into x plus y plus z, then x bar plus y plus z and x plus y bar plus z. So just removing the same terms or similar terms. Okay, so the first one will be capital M4 because it is 1 0 0. So you remember, in case of max term x bar will be 1 and in min term x will be 1. Okay, so this is M4 and then it will be your M5, then it will be your M0, M1 and M2. So x plus y plus z is your M0, then this is M1 and this is M2. Okay, so we can write M0 into M1 into M2 into M4 into M5. So this is the answer, and we can write finally f equal to, this is the symbol 0 1 2 4 and 5. So this is how you have to write. So this is the converted form of what? Xy plus x bar z. If you convert this to your canonical form or your max term, then this will be the answer. Okay, so in the next class we'll be converting your conversion of canonical form, that is SOP to POS and POS to SOP. So those direct questions also comes in your exams. And then we'll see realization of Boolean functions, SOP and POS, how you can realize that using your NAND gates and other gates, on OR gates and gates, on all the things. And after that I'll try to cover the K-map. So K-map is one of the most important topic. You can solve so many of digital electronics problems in K-map. And let me complete here. So subscribe to the channel and please be updated pressing the bell icon, and you will get the bell icon here below. You can go for that. You can find the subscribe button below, so you can find the subscribe, and you can find the bell button there. And most importantly, if you have any doubt in this lecture, you can write in the comment box. I will try to clear all the doubts in a specific video or else in the next lecture video. So first I will clear the doubts of the previous ones, and then I will continue with the next. So POS and SOP we have completed here, and we are ending the class here. So thank you. We will meet in the next class. Have a good day. Okay, so let me give a very briefing about what we are going to read in the next class. So one thing we will read is conversion of canonical forms. Okay, so in this, what this will include, this will first include conversion of SOP to POS conversion. So we'll learn how to convert a SOP term to POS term. So already you have seen here how these are related. So if for a same combination of variables, how these are related, already I have explained that. So we'll be learning how to convert them. So next thing will be your SOP to POS, then it is POS to SOP conversion. Okay. Then one tricky point. So this trick will be used in your GATE exam. SOP and POS expressions from truth table. Okay, and then we'll learn about one more thing, realization of Boolean functions. Realization of Boolean functions given in POS and SOP forms. So for GATE purpose, be sure about what I am teaching and what notes I am giving. So be sure that you are going to get questions from this only. You will not get questions out of this. So means carefully prepare for GATE, and you can use this as your basic material. You can follow other books also, internet also, for solving problems. But the concepts and the fundamentals I am discussing here, these are very useful for your GATE, and 100% you are going to get questions from this syllabus what I am teaching. So in further I will be going for other subjects also, and if you have any doubt in any other subject, and if you want to suggest for which subject I should go for the next video series, I will start that. This is the digital electronics lecture series, so I can start like your communication engineering lecture series, or your digital communication lecture series, or electromagnetic lecture series. So anything you can suggest write in the comment box, and I will be trying to make the video series from there. Okay, so thank you. Bye bye.